can find a refuge in what you are saying, or maybe yes, but not in a raw manner, as for example, in theory, the forum will discuss this sort of topic. So it's important at the same time, I guess, to have a very clear speech, a very clear narrative. But we need to have a mechanism whereby people can participate in the day-to-day, do the work, internal work weekly, and has all that type of report. That is the grassroots movement expanding.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, we have. I've been thinking about it. Did you have any opportunity to look at these documents I sent you from Dorothy?
Not yet, no. I saw them last
Yeah,
night and I
yeah,
didn't open it on the phone, so I
yeah,
can do it afterwards. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We will slowly by slowly work on that. Did you see it, Tracy?
Yes, I did.
Oh, it
I
is
think
a bit
yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, it's like they just made a plan for their area. So I was expecting if we are making a plan like the one Delmont made for the whole of Africa. Like he left a space where Kenya can fit in, Tanzania can fit in. If you have a program, you just put your program there, he fixes it. But
Yeah.
when I was looking at Dorothy's, it was like they had a plan for what the Kisumu people are doing or the organization. So maybe she wants us to take that plan and put it in our plan to implement for the whole year. I think that was her idea with Rose.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that document they promoted with a list of tasks,
Then,
events, tasks
yeah.
for 1 year. This is something that could be a good stuff for in relation to the networking. You know, to take this plan of some areas in Kenya, but use it, make some use at least of it as a Pan-African model or bigger scheme possible. And it's very interesting. I have not heard about the Delmon's plan, but that sounds like fitting into this, or what?
Yeah, I will send you. He sent me when I was in their country. He was working on it, him and Vincent, and then he asked me to ask the Tanzanian people, their events, the Kenyan and the Ugandan. So he made a sample. I also sent it to Ragnar. So I'll send you. I still have the sample.
No, send me. I can't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I'll send you guys after the meeting.
Oh, very good. But this is very. I'm feeling this is very positive that they are starting to make a plan for the whole year.
Yeah.
It is, and we should encourage everyone to make a plan. Then we can, because we have to have a mixture of. It's very good if people find out themselves what they want to do, and we support them and encourage them. But then some are not have not ideas. Then we can show them the plan, the other, because we know, like when the Third World March came in and a clear project come in, then things become much more effective.
Yes.
But I think we now are focusing on this 25th and the meeting and the forum, and let's give it some time until maybe the organizing meeting after 1 week on next Thursday to focus on this planning and things with the people. Then we can read all these documents. Also, we can, if Antonio, the document about the handbook.
Yes.
It was a small mistake, kind of, because Julius was putting together different documents, like one document from you,
Yeah.
one this handbook, and one some guidelines for the forum from me. I think we have just to read it over and change
Yeah, of course.
how we say it a little bit, so it is
Yeah.
not structured, it's more up to date or something.
Yeah, Julius said that it had not been disseminated, that it was only for us to look. So that's why
Yeah, yeah,
I thought that it was too early to disseminate and also
yeah,
to put it under my name, because it's a mismatch of different things. I am not saying that individually looking at them, they are not interesting, but corresponds to other periods of process. And
yeah,
for example, to
exactly.
have team delegates is like 20 or 30 years back when we had
Yeah,
the
yeah,
structures of the movement, when
yeah.
we were building structures. Now the
I was,
approach has changed. So, but the concept of the team delegate, that means somebody coordinating for another group because that person has more experience, more know-how, more motivation, is still valid, because always runs like that.
yeah, and it happens like that in the reality. Someone step forward and take the
The reins.
responsibility and things. But when is the okay? Uh, Actually, me and Tracy were talking yesterday about. Yeah, can I ask this the separate? Me and Tracy want to go to school. There is some online schools, isn't it? In the humanist movement, like we
Yes,
went in the park.
yes, yes. I mean, yes.
English.
These works are what they are called disciplines.
Yeah,
To become a full member of the school, you have to complete certain stages of study.
yeah,
And then those processes, I think at the moment, they are more elongated in time than any normal training, but not as much as 1 year or something. But people need to start some leveling up work, because they have to cover many other more base materials, and they have to refreshen them in the heads. Probably it's not our case, because we are all the time dealing with things to teach others, etc. But there is a set plan, and so you
yeah,
have to be in contact with a park,
yeah,
because the school is based on parks. But at
yeah,
the same time, because the parks are in remote places and people live in cities, then as a fact, they work the training of people who are preparing to access the school. The training takes place in urban places or by internet. That is what
yeah,
you were saying in the beginning. Yes.
yeah. Do you
I
know
have to
anything
find out,
about it?
where that process is taking place. And also languages will be very important, should be a group
English,
that is
yeah.
working in some of the disciplines. Also, the disciplines are quite different from each other,
I
because you
know
teach.
I started the school and Julius finished it, so I know a little bit about it. My question is if we can, how we can get to contact and to see what is available and when.
Yeah, I could, because each park is different, but also sometimes they work from different parks in a region or something like that. So I
Okay,
will find out. I will ask Tito from Argentina that is involved in that. They used to call it the virtual school,
okay.
because
Yeah,
it's working.
we have to start from the beginning first before we go to discipline.
Mm. But you have done lots of these studies. You have done the self-knowledge. You have done the transferences. You understand the structure
Yeah, yeah,
of the psyche. You know the psychophysics. So
yeah,
all the
yeah,
system of self-liberation is supposed to be understood by the person who will initiate.
yeah,
Anyway, it's important to review it before starting.
yeah, yeah. I would
And
like to start from beginning, and
yeah,
also Tracy would like to take part in this. Maybe some more people from Kenya, I don't know, but
yeah.
that
Mm.
is, and then we want to start a park in Kenya.
Wow, that's fantastic, no?
Uh,
Mm.
Mm.
That's very
Isn't
powerful.
it, Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Tracy have a land.
yeah. This year's dream.
Very good, because those are and there is a real necessity because instruction of people in the base. So probably I could help with and I'm sure that Julius too, because if he has done the process and also he is practicing lots of these techniques of self liberation system in the training, the work, weekly meetings of internal work, and so we can level up a certain group of people who, from the beginning until they get to the point of probably deciding for a discipline. But the discipline that I know is the mental discipline. That is
Okay.
more abstractive. There is also that works with the matter, another one that works with energy, and another one with morphology, the forms.
Yeah. I took the energy.
Energy. Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Are they four?
four.
Yeah. Physics is energy, form.
Yes. Morphology. Yeah. Then the mental.
Yeah.
Yes. And the matter.
And the matter.
Matter is the alchemist that works in the laboratory, and they produce one transformation of the substance into another.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. And
Somebody that knows that is Eduardo Gosalo. He is a friend of mine. He lives in Italy, and so he could advise something about that.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
that
let's get this out. Yeah, Julius, you're saying?
as it regards this school thing, that we can possibly leave from this meeting shortly, but as it regards this pondering about the school, that is really a very, very interesting thing. Then I think we should think of La Belle Idée Park in France as our mother focus, because one, they gave themselves out for being the park for English speaking. So there is a history of English materials, and even though they have turned to French as the universal language, so it's impossible to follow it anymore. Then two things: they have some materials from the past, and then also I think we are connected to them in actuality, because some of the people that come regularly, even daily, to your meetings, Antonio, there we have like Francois and a lot of people from the French part.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we have
Right,
to
Sylvie.
for the place. We have to choose a park, a mother park.
Mm. Mhm.
I think that is practical.
Mm.
Maybe before next meeting, if we will have some information of where and when.
Then there is a German park that our friend
Yeah.
John Swindon is helping them to develop the sala, the hall. He
Yeah.
is the architect that is in charge of that. They will not going to build it straight away. May take up to 2 years, because they are getting the planning permission for that, but they don't have the money. And they are not a large number of people, but most of the Germans communicate as a second language in English. And I think they are a very nice bunch. So I can find out also if there is something
Yes.
along those lines. That could be.
They also have an experience in adopting some late
Yes.
like Gails.
Yes. Yeah.
Gails.
Yeah.
She finished. I think she has finished her process in Germany. You know.
Ashi.
Yeah, I think so. So she is also a good. She's a very nice person.
You mean Gael?
Gael, yeah. So she should be your advisor, Ragnar Tracy, because she has done exactly what you are.
Yeah.
thinking.
And what discipline did she complete?
I don't know that.
Well, we can invite Gael at one point and ask her and have a little discussion with her.
Yeah.
But she's very active in the organization of the forum. In fact, she's helping to build the web page. So we are every day we are exchanging messages. So I will ask her.
Yeah.
Maybe over the weekend you will be able to, over the next week during the forum session. We'll not have time to talk about anything, but you will see her in
Yeah, in 25th,
directly.
25th, yes.
Yeah.
She had also a function in the last World March, last forum meeting, you know.
Yes, exactly. She did.
Yeah. And it's so good. It's so good that we are remembering or finding the interest for the school process because we absolutely we need the school process behind our universal humanization process.
Exactly. And the idea of having a park in Kenya, it gives a direction that is very sort of
Beautiful.
yes, it's beautiful because it will give direction to lots of people from many different countries in the region. You know that the park in Mozambique has been invaded by the crowds a couple of days back?
Sorry, have been.
By what?
Invaded by the mobs in Mozambique.
I
What do
see.
you mean? I don't understand.
Well, they have a situation of internal revolution in Maputo, the capital of Mozambique.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then there is a government that is sort of in the opposition and that is very popular. And the people are so impoverished and so furious with the government that really they have gone on the rampage and they have occupied land that belongs to other people. They have occupied and invaded lots of neighborhoods in Maputo. And because the park is in a place that is a bit outside the city, a bit more sort of residential, they came into the park and they broke the gates and they invaded the park. And they were sort of very aggressive because some had machetes. No? So our friends there, when they got the notice, I mean, like Ivan, for example, or Remigio, they came there and they tried to assist and to calm down the guys and said, well, look, we are doing something that we feel sympathy for you because we have lots of things in common. We are humanists. And so they saw the building, the hall in the middle of the site. And so it was occupied. So they cannot just trace the land and to put a house there, a dwelling. But some were doing that. They were marking the land of the park to subdivide it, to build homes. So really a tense situation.
Okay.
But then the following day, this happened 2 days ago, or suppose, let's say it's Friday, on Tuesday. But the next day they didn't come, and now the situation is tense, but in status of balance. So things can happen to the park.
This is very, very interesting because it reminds me the first stages in the African Forum project I took part in when I was in Mariana's
Line, yeah.
And then we started up in Soweto in South Africa. And this is a place where we were warned that we would be killed and everything is so bad. And then Angelo Bravo, the Spanish guy, you know him?
Angel Bravo, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Angelo Bravo is very nice. He had a group of guys that were had as a profession to go most of the days to the highway to stop, to rob cars, you know, and so on. And sometimes they were late to the weekly meeting because they had that job, you know.
They were robbing a bit and then
had to finish the robbery. And they were very interested in the internal work and everything, you know. Young guys, mostly.
Yeah. Okay, let me.
We form a protection force like that then.
Yeah, because
when we get the park.
I thought Remy goes and the Mozambique people reaction to the mobbing is very obviously should be the same. So say, hey, don't rob us. We are you know,
Yeah, they said they started dialogue with some of them, and then it was getting late, and also they had to go to the places, and then they dispersed. Probably they came to the conclusion that that was not the right place to put new dwellings. But anyway,
yes. But so this shows how we build on some real experience,
mm,
and then to take the things you said in the video. Now I'm fresh from the video. Antonio, you were reminding in the video. It's not a good experience from taking some content, some materials from an older period and
Mm.
just trying to
adapt it.
today. And this is so very right.
Mm.
So,
Especially if you don't do it under my name.
yes, but you,
If I have nothing to do, I say, well,
but wait a minute. When we were doing this, you had no, critical.
say.
No. You were very, very happy with
yeah,
the
yeah.
material was there, and you had the prologue, and the
Yeah.
prologue is really a pep talk.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
And that's why it needs polishing, because it's acceptable as a dialogue like what we are having now. But when you have it in writing and lots of people coming from different streams, they can get a bit confused about it, or it's not touching the central point.
So it shows the impossibility of taking a material 1 year old or whatever, especially in rapid growth, but I remember, and I think that you can remember with me that we had some very big need for this particular material. Like Trace was saying in the last meeting, that we had problems that we have to remember that in our initial stages during these 3 years, people had no clue what is the forum. We didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But there are chapters there in the Orientalist Handbook.
Yeah.
Tracy, I think you were mentioning it, that then people started to think at all about humanists. They didn't know what humanist is. I remember particularly like Obama,
yeah.
And he suddenly, see, he had some discoveries.
Interesting.
Because of the explanations given there. So it's like only that we have to be aware at what stage we are. And I agree with you, Antonio, totally, 100%, that we cannot use the document now.
No, we have to do something more articulate. If we take things, let's take from the book of the community regarding the teachings, regarding the techniques, the definitions of what the movement was, and we can correct things like that. We need to put more thought into that. That's all.
Yeah. We have to work on that.
The things are relevant that are in the book, but the context,
yes, exactly,
needs to be,
to be worked out.
Yeah.
What I wanted to tell you is that you can access now the web page for the forum at any time. It's www.worldforum, Humanist World Forum, Humanist, one word, Humanist World Forum.org. ORG. And then also when you get to that, if you go with Chrome, you can register in the web page for the forum for the 25th of January.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about the registration, there are people who are inboxing me. I had one from Uganda, another one from Ghana.
They couldn't get in, yeah?
Yeah, they could, they can't access. And then another one is saying that the page is no longer there.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it happened to me the
some,
same thing yesterday, and we
yeah.
raised it with David Anderson in New York, who is the one that is doing all the thing of the communications. And
Mhm.
then he sent another one refreshed, and then I saw that if you use Chrome, Google Chrome, then it will not present that obstacle. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
he got one to enter directly, which I will copy you in a minute.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but
I
mine
could,
just went directly. I
It
don't know
went
why.
directly. Ah,
Yeah, I
good.
don't know
Mm.
why.
I could not register because they rejected Firefox. So we are in the battle of the souls. You know,
Yes,
Google,
yes.
Firefox, all this.
All this.
Microsoft, they are fighting for their souls. You know.
Exactly. To
Mm.
taking the monopoly. And these IT guys, I mean, I am very bad at it. So I tend to feel a lot of antipathy. But I mean, without them, we wouldn't do anything.
Yeah,
And what they do is that they are very centered in their own world and not in what people understand or do not understand. They are like talking between experts always and doing, yeah, connect here. And for you, connect there. How can I do that? So he sent another link that is very direct and you can register with it. And
okay.
then, but the conversation was, because I can copy that in a minute. The rest of the conversation was that there now we have lots of materials that are pertinent to the forum. And the
Mhm.
reference of that is Silo's speech in the First World Forum in 1993.
Oh,
That
yeah,
Gael put it in Spanish, so it's recorded, Silo, but you will be able to read all the text in English or whichever language you select. And because from there, if we read that careful, there are some things that we need to adapt. It's 30 years back that, but still it's absolutely relevant. He explains the reasons of the forum, the foundations of the forum, the benefits of it, and all that. No? What
yeah,
we aspire to do, because then we can start to produce narratives about all the important topics of discussion of this time, that we will reach the conclusions in our own groups of study, and we'll be able to bypass what the media of the establishment, the narratives that they publish every day, that mostly are lies, and we will be able to inform the people about what is the criteria or the viewpoint and the why, the conclusions that we reach. And it's important. It's an educational function,
yeah,
universal vis-a-vis everyone. And
yeah,
if we will assume that, we will become very well like a reference. And in Presenza, in the network of the agency, the news agency Presenza, we are publishing all these articles that refer to the conclusions of the studies about these matters. It's quite good.
yes. And I think that now we have, you know, we have gone through two World Forum meetings, I think, or something.
Mm,
Total catastrophe for English speaking, total catastrophe.
yeah.
So I think that we should be beforehand.
Mm,
One of the biggest challenge,
mm,
so as to not lose all the English speaking people that are
yeah.
part now of this,
Exactly. Exactly.
that because even in the bottom line there on
Mm,
the where you have the icons,
mm,
there is not even an icon
mm,
pointing to. There was this globe, you
mm.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not even an icon saying, okay, translations.
Yes.
So you should be able to put the
Mm,
press there,
mm.
and then comes all
Yeah.
the wishes, you know.
Yeah. It's very experimental. So what I would like, and I will ask agreement of the others. We have started all this with a group of 4 or 5 people.
Yeah,
Remigio from Mozambique, who's fluent in English, and we communicate in English or a bit of Spanish sometimes. Javier Tolcacher, that is quite prominent in Presenza, one of the original editors of that book that is nonviolent journalism, but he is an original Spanish speaker, but he speaks English, he speaks a bit of French, he speaks a bit of Italian, everything, because he has been living here and there in German. So then is Pia Figueroa, that is the founder of Presenza, also one of the older members of the group. Even I connected Pia in 1968 when
Yeah.
the first groups were working. Before 1969, she was 15. So the family didn't let her attend the meetings.
Yeah.
She
Ah,
was
Peter.
a friend of my sister or something like that. So it's funny, all these connections that have lasted for a long time. But Pia is very experienced, and she founded Presenza in 2008 or
Yeah.
2010.
Sheila asked her to be responsible. I remember that.
Responsible for what?
Pardon?
Yes, yes, Silo back
For
the
Presenza.
initiative of Presenza. Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was originated in another conversation that we had there. But those are stories. I mean, who else? Gael, I told you that is doing some of the technical work,
Yeah.
and there is somebody else in that initial group. So that's why for the building up of the web page, basically we have been communicating informally in Spanish. But it's very interesting what you mentioned. I haven't noticed that under the icons, there is no the facility to translate all the page that could be done with one automatic translator.
Yeah.
And that needs to be done before the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And also I mentioned that because we have lots of people that understand basically Swahili, and therefore they would like to have people from Uganda that they have grown very fast. Because of that, Tracy had offered to translate for them. And so we have to make sure what is the facility that Tracy will have. She will be then in a booth, and we will have to have a channel, English, Swahili, Swahili in English, because we will be listening to the proceedings in English. And therefore, she will have to go from English to Swahili. And you said that there is another person that you would like to support you, 2 or 3. You said that, no?
Yes, yes.
And so I don't know how that technically can be implemented with the channel.
But you must have some meetings to organize this.
Yeah,
The group.
we have every Wednesday we have 1 2 days back. I mean last Wednesday,
Yeah.
and we discuss again the point of Swahili. But then it's again, if we don't get the attention of David directly, who is the one organizing the Zoom and registering the people that they are coming in touch, well, it could go under the carpet. I mean, that is a fear that I have, because I complain many times, and in the end, things move another way. And this time, I think we will have lots of participants. Only yesterday, more than 50 people registered in
Okay.
one day.
But
And we have another 2 weeks.
Can me and Tracy come into this meeting next Wednesday?
That's what I am proposing. I will ask
Oh,
them, and I will
oh,
say, look, we have to talk things that are very important for Africa, because we expect a large crowd from Africa. And if people for the second time, they don't understand anything, probably they will wave goodbye to the forum. And that will be our fault, and only our
Sorry.
fault as organizers.
Important correction for the third time.
For the third time, yeah.
You will not be 3 times
Yeah.
okay with this.
Yeah.
So this is the last chance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
okay. But okay. But we have to take care of these technical things.
Yeah.
But are we then the forum will be split into different groups for different subjects,
Yes, exactly.
and we will and what subjects will be there?
When you
Is that-
register, they will appear there, the subject.
okay.
But if
Yes,
for
yes.
some reason,
If you register, you read there are different, there is health, there is education,
yeah,
and then they also ask you which subjects are you interested in. So
exactly.
you go and you fill in.
Yeah.
So whatever you are, I think you are interested in, you'll also get people who are interested in what you're interested. And then after the meeting, you can come together and talk.
Perfect.
and
You got all
see.
the plan very clear. So, but then we will go to areas of study of interest, and there you will get congregated different people. But suppose that you are me too,
Yeah.
And then, and that is within the category of human rights.
Human rights. Yeah.
Because
Yes, yes.
gender violations, etc., unless you want a specific table about that, then you can propose that. But
What do you think,
Yeah,
Tracy?
when
Me
these
Too
tables
Too
get,
is under human rights because
and
it's gender-based violence
yeah,
and it's advocacy and justice. So
yes.
it's under human rights.
But
Yeah.
then initially you could start a separate table or propose a separate table, or in the beginning, go to human rights. Once 50 people congregate, to imagine a number, 30 that are interested in that topic, you could say, well, because our topic is so specific, we would like to have a sub-table whose priority will be this.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then that means that they will go breaking apart the study tables according to the specific interest. By the same participants will take the decision. Otherwise, we would be starting with 50 tables and nobody would know what the content is and who should be there or somewhere else.
Okay.
But like Me Too is relatively internationally known, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Because it is really, as a subject of really focus, it is older in Europe and US, but
Yeah.
it's only that, so that should be okay. But
Yeah.
but
Did you see Elon Musk, how he shot to the British government? And he accused the prime minister of complicity because for years, in the beginning of the decade, between 2008 and 2013, he was the attorney general that was dealing with all these case of scandals. And they say that up to 250,000 girls below the 18 years of age have been violated and have been exploited in that way. And they said that they were organized gangs of people from Pakistan. But Elon Musk can say anything like that, and he said that this guy was evil and should resign, and a new election should be called in the United Kingdom. Elon Musk is saying because now that he has his platforms and the power and is working with Trump, he insults everybody and says the most horrible things. And if you say, I will take you to court, and he said, take me to court. I mean, with the money that he has, he can buy the judges, he can buy everything else. And then
but I think if
it's a
if
big
we have a group,
imbalance of power everywhere.
yeah, I'm thinking, okay, if we have a group of human rights, then people will have maybe have interest in different subjects.
Yeah.
I think Me Too, if we have it separate, I think it's difficult to talk about it in many, if there are many issues also there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? If we have it separate, we just see how many are interested, and then we can
Yeah.
focus
Exactly.
on it. So I think we should propose a
Mm.
certain subject.
Yeah, because gender violence is very prominent. Precisely, there
Yeah,
is
we can have it gender violence. That is
Mm.
also possible. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
What
one
do
of
you
the
think,
types of
Christy?
violence, and violence is one of the against gender equality, etc. It's violating one of the human rights, but you can see more or less where to frame it.
yeah,
But that will attract lots of interest people and
yeah, yeah. Gender violence is better than human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also taking Musk, for instance, this poor guy or he's a stupid guy and all that, but because his daughter does not talk to him because of gender violence, because they put a very big swear word like woke. You know, woke is a
Yeah.
most terrible thing in the world, and that is where people choose, you know, their
Change gender. Yeah. Yeah.
sexual orientation.
Mm.
So he's not a happy man, you know. He's suffering a pig, you know.
Yeah, because it's lots of abuse. The liberals, that means the people represented by Biden and the more extreme lines, they have made an ideology out of this gender change. And they want to generalize it to everyone. And if there is a 12-year-old girl, all confused, growing up, playing with dolls and things like that, suddenly she has to choose another sex. And if she said, yeah, now I would like to be a man, and then immediately they start to take it to a specialist, and eventually they will operate and spend their life. So it's equivalent to the genital mutilation that we are trying to fight in Kenya. It's equivalent, but in laboratories and all that, and because it's done by the Americans or the Europeans, seems to be correct. And it's a distortion of the ideology. All that is placed under walks. That's why these guys that are more traditionalists, Trump, etc., they treat them like shit, and they are insulting them all the time.
Yes, because let's remember that I don't want to use the word superiority, but I will use it anyway for explanation, that therefore the choice of humanism has such a superiority because the human being is the only concept that unites every citizen of the world. And the human being does not have sexuality as its reference point.
For sure.
Exactly. Nor money.
Nor anything.
No.
Yeah. Even humanism looks through human eye at Musk and Trump and all those fucking idiots that are the most dangerous ones, you know.
Yeah.
And that is a difficult part, of course, of being a human.
Yes, because we sound violent. Because if you call shit a shit, then immediately you say, "Oh, what are you talking like that?" There's a borderline. Even if we are the most pacific and humane people in the world, because some things are what they are. Their essence is shit. So what else can you call it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are ethical problems that we confront in the proportion that we grow, we go dwelling it deeper into things. But
but what about
it's almost an hour.
Hitler.
Hey, it's almost an hour now. Can we concentrate?
Yeah. I stop.
Okay, I was checking here to register because we have to guide people in this. It is decolonialism, health, social ecology, non-discrimination, universal basic income, human rights, education. If we, okay, what do you think? Okay, I don't know. Should we just come up with this topic in the human rights or non-discrimination? I don't know. Human rights, and or can we propose as a certain subject?
you can propose. I mean, gender violence is very specific, but it would be within the topic of violence and non-violence.
Okay.
Because if you say discrimination, some people take racism as discrimination. So LGBTQ discrimination. So I think it is good if it's just separate.
Yes, exactly.
Gender-based violence.
Yes.
But how do we apply for that? Do you know?
Write it there. I mean, you write the subject and you say, what is your preferred subject? Or does it give you a choice or not? I put human rights in my head.
For sure. Gender-based violence. I can write that.
Write that.
Okay. Okay. I will and see what happens.
I'm asking in the options, is there any option that says other?
No,
I didn't see.
I think we should have a basket for other, because then you get very varied subject, but that we can use it as a opinion, study that because if some in the other box,
Mhm.
for other, even there could be a winner there that means that we take it on the option list. You know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, because Delmont was telling me that he was looking at it and there was no place for engineers, for doctors. And then I told him maybe it's in education.
No,
And
it's
then he
health.
said,
It is, it
yeah.
is health. Health.
So you
Yeah.
see, like
Uh,
him, he's an engineer, he's also a doctor.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but so his area of interest would be what? Health, social health, the improvement of what? Or bridges or transport or what topic of engineering? How does he work in it day to day? Probably he has an area that is more priority for him.
Yeah, I don't know now. It's
No.
he knows better.
When I was choosing, I chose education.
Mhm.
Why? Because that is in a core subject, but
Mhm.
it can easily be divided into sub, you know.
Certainly, absolutely. And the more that the forum grows, we'll have areas of specialization because you cannot,
Yeah,
like in the case of this guy, you
yeah,
cannot mix two areas of interest if he wants something one over the other.
yeah.
One thing are his qualifications, another thing is the way that he spends his energy in the day-to-day life.
Okay, tell me another thing. Okay, is there like for this different subject, is there someone who is in charge of each subject?
Not yet.
No, okay.
So we wanted to propose,
Oh.
and that is a proposition that I came, I
Oh.
wanted to make in this meeting. Is the same if you could be a sort of hosts in any of these groups. Because what, for
Yeah.
example, 50 people will come to human rights, and then they will start to look at each other like we are in the screen from different
Yeah.
countries, different languages and everything.
Yeah.
And nobody will take any initiative. And then they will start, somebody there will propose, why don't we introduce ourselves? We'll start to introduce before getting to half, the time will elapse and nothing will happen.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we plan, but we plan
Yeah.
stupidly because they later on, when you have to implement, they don't work. So
Okay.
we are trying to imagine the situation.
Mm.
And so I said, well, it's like if somebody invites you to a party and nobody welcomes you in the door and you don't know anyone in the party because it was a friend of a friend who said, come along, and nobody introduces and say, welcome, what's your name? I'm so and start to introduce you to people. You feel awful and then you want to leave. And it's the same thing. We call the meetings, people come there, and suddenly they will go to a room and nobody will take the initiative. So
We
I
have
would
to
like you
have
to
someone taking care of its subject.
exactly
Yeah.
to play the role. I mean, if
Yeah.
nobody particularly has nominated you to say, I am so and so, I have been involved with the forums for a long time. We are from Africa, etc. And then you introduce yourself. I propose that we do this, and that. So everybody will say, will be a
Yeah.
relaxation,
Yeah.
and they can immediately start applying into some sort of more substantial discussion.
Yeah.
And I think, for example, if we apply for gender-based violence, then we can easily take care of that. And then we will we will build on the ground that we have been doing some projects in Kenya, like the Run Gender-Based Violence and also this Me Too. That can be a very clear project that people can do, and then we can introduce it a little bit, and then we talk and see who want to work on that, something like that. That is something I'm ready to do.
Exactly.
Even the education, Julius, it is there are very clear things like both the book and the human education that are going on, and also this statement that you don't use violence. That is a very nice things that is possible to introduce there. So I recommend you take care of that, Julius.
The
Education.
they call education.
Okay.
Yes.
I am very interested in education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have an area that is called education or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
education.
So you join that, and then probably you can take then the initiative of welcoming everybody and do like the host, even if nobody has said Julius is the
Yeah,
host. So maybe if we have other organizational meetings to look at this aspect,
yeah,
we can already define that function and send an email to all those participants.
yeah. Because I am now thinking of the future.
Exactly.
I am thinking of the fully formed uh, uh,
Forum.
platform of the universal human nation,
Mm.
and that platform needs to allow for all human beings in the world to find their place.
Niche.
Yeah. And technically it's possible, but this will be really, this is the organizational part of the whole thing, to have some Geiger, or radar, where there's a stage where I accept this forum, I adhere to it,
Mm.
and I will find where do I
Yeah.
belong, where is my heart, my thoughts and feelings.
One of the things is that this forum is going to be permanent.
Yeah,
And we have already scheduled meetings every 2 months. So
okay.
we are going to have 6 meetings along the year. And because all these observations that we have, we cannot deal in the first meeting, considering this is the first assembly where we are congregating people from all the regions of the planet. So this is a mini universal human nation for the first time. Before we had a couple of languages here and there. We call it African Forum, talking about the topic of colonialism. That is why is one of the topics, because it's the first one that we discuss in one of these sessions. But
Yeah,
now it's a different dimension and is going to be permanent. So anything that we observe that need to be strengthened, that needs to be changed, we'll do it in the next and the next and the next. So we'll arrive to the end of the year with something that is chunky, that is solid, that is intelligent, that
yeah,
is well thought, and probably we will have concrete productions and initiatives.
yeah.
Okay. It have to be like this now 25th. It's something like we have to yeah, and we have to decide. Okay, first it's a small introduction and to explain the technical things like translation and things. Then we have to decide. We split into groups. For how long will we come back? And also in the group that you should, those who are interested, you should take a email and contact from everyone. So in the between till next, after 2 months, you can work on the things that you are interested in, and some few clear things that are introduced in the beginning.
And we have a secretariat in the conception of the forum as a coordinator of all these things to allow the operation in between sessions. And the secretariat is key. It's like having the brains. Otherwise, we'll go out and it will be like an automat without any capacity to think. So that's why it's so important. If we come out with a basic structure for the secretariat of people who will be doing precisely that, making the list of the particular interests of all the things that they want to continue discussion in between, where people can organize their own meetings to make the tables progress.
There's one thing I want to mention, and this is the thought that we should not be putting too much work to things that are already functional, already there. And in that context, I think we should look at the United Nations, because the United Nations, as did you say it, Antonio, that that the human rights, the basic charter of universal human rights. There are how many human rights?
28 about.
Yeah, 28.
Because the manual, now we put the manual in all the languages inside the web page.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm saying
Okay.
that the problem with the United Nations is not that it is not well constructed in terms of addressing,
Yeah.
listing the problems, but the problems are more the supremacy of the United States and other hooligans that have the veto.
Silo said that in that respect. He said about human rights, even as they are, that they are not very well developed.
Yeah.
If we could implement what exists in the Charter of Human Rights, the world would be a completely different place. He has
Yeah.
said in several occasions. It's
Yeah.
exactly what you are confirming.
Yeah, because we
It's the
do not,
political will that is meeting.
you do not need to learn to make the fire again. That's good to
But
have.
if you see the equality of genders in
Yeah,
49 or 48, they wouldn't have imagined the problems that exist with genders and the gender violence that exists in the world 70 years later.
Yeah, yes.
So you will have to stop in those and say, well, this is okay, it's very basic, but then you can elaborate much more.
Yeah. And did you do you remember or did you know that each and every government of any country in the world is by law stated by the United Nations. By law, they are bound to include this very charter into education, for children and for everyone. I went to school in Iceland. I've never heard the teacher talk about the United
Human
Nations.
rights.
Yeah. So those elements are there, and it's good to.
We have a huge work that we can do where we can really remove the dust of lots of things and enhance them and bring them to the public in general, and that will start to change the culture.
Yes, and this is the idea of joining education.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can preach. I'll be a preacher.
Yeah, and that really, will people will pay attention because many maybe they have some ideas, but others still not. They say that they would like to do something there, but not enough.
Yeah.
But let me see if we can organize then with the organizers, a special meeting then to attend to all these chunky, substantial points that you are making. And even if it's not in the meeting of next Wednesday, because there are other things about the web or that they want to discuss, or because we will have too many other people who are interested in also doing this welcoming and coordination function within the tables of interest, the study tables, then maybe we can do it before, and we can propose a date to meet with David, that is organizing all the communication systems in New York. And then should be perhaps Pia and Javier Tolcacher, that is a very practical person and resolve problems. And also Gael, that is doing the technical stuff. And I can immediately propose you, let's meet at any time. You open one of these rooms, Julius, and then we can discuss. Especially if you cannot drive your car, you will be there in your place and will be easy to contact Ragnar. I don't know about the itinerary.
I'm available with
You are
a short
available.
notice. I'm very available all the time.
Yeah.
And
Tracy, how busy are you?
What?
Tracy, is she very busy as well over this weekend?
No, I'm available.
You are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A practical question. I was thinking that we had those gigantic meetings. One of them with
Palumbo.
meeting joining at the time of when COVID had stopped all the traveling. Then we had this big thing on the internet, some kind of world forum. And then we had this guy I'm always mentioning.
Federico Palumbo, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I was involved.
Because he administered the meeting, And he was very clear on all the aspects that are failing now. You know, no problem of translation, no, there was, the globe was there. He knew this apparatus, the Zoom. He knew that. He's a technical man. So is it possible somehow to include him, Antonio? You had reservations.
Yeah, it would be possible. Yeah.
Because he knows Zoom, you know.
Mm. Yeah, at this stage, there are lots of people who know it, and I think they have a special edition of Zoom, but also lots of people who said, yeah, I know it, and I can do this and that, and they cannot.
Yeah, we have
And
seen
they are
it
part of the
three
team
times.
so they are such some of political things, because if I step on the toes, they will say to me,
Yeah, yeah.
and people get offended. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
and Palumbo is very bright guy, and at the time was very dedicated, but he tends to have several interests, let's say. I would call it to be all over the place. And then when you need it, you need to pin them down, and something needs to be done.
Okay.
So that is a problem. Because we have called them for the initial meetings of the forum, and it was difficult. Maybe because he felt criticized at one point, or he burned his fingers somewhere here or there, or he is very busy in many other things. But I will consult, but I cannot, maybe we can propose it. If we bear this first initiative and then we go trying to resolve the problems, we can engage him for the second one. To have two Zooms, for example, and to be able to quickly transfer from one to the other if there are faults.
This is sensitive to those you have been working with. I understand that.
I think so.
And so you have to judge, you know.
Yeah. But I take the point. That's why I want you to listen to you directly before we have this assembly thing, because it's not a minor thing to try to communicate in the local languages. I know that Tracy will be able to defend her front, because I mean, Swahili is for lots of people from what is it?
We have one. You know, if we divide into groups, then not one person can translate into one language in all the groups.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be ad hoc, we'll have to be into English, and otherwise somebody will have to come forward and say, well, I can go translating one-to-one, like that in the group, 20 people there, and they will have to listen to what you say. And the one talking will have to go in short sentences and stop there.
I think as for languages in the various groups, then this is what happens, because we did this participation like in the mentioned
Palumbo meeting,
with Palumbo. Then all the English speaking, those who choose English speaking, was there in one room, and then in that room we had to solve. So who can
do it? Yeah. And it works, because more or less you get the essence, and then you can form, what you suggested, the contact direct addresses of each one, and then you can organize another meeting when somebody specifically in a smaller session of 20 people, for example, can do the interpreting into one or two languages there. Not that complicated, but that will allow you to advance the work.
It is possible it is possible to have the groups also divided into languages. Like we say, the human rights will be in English, and but what about also something like that in each group, that someone take notes and do synthesis, and then they deliver what was talked in the group?
That can be done, and that is something that needs to be proposed, not taking or recording the proceedings, therefore that the notes can be good notes.
Okay, I was trying to put in the team table. It's not possible to write something else. If I put the gender-based violence, then they say, let me see, they say no much data. So to
Yeah.
have that, we have to see on the how I say, we have to see on the meeting with the organizing team if we can put it in there, and or else we, this will be kind of a experiment this first time, and we will we will see how we can do the best.
Yeah.
If we go into this human rights, people are there, then I can take over there and start. Okay, what do you want to talk about? Okay, I want to talk about Me Too, revolution, gender-based violence. Okay, where do we start? It have to be someone in each group that can take control and guide it and react to if someone have a issue they want to put forward, then have to be an open table for everything, something like that.
Exactly. Then that will be in our own territory. We can propose the things, we can find a solution, because you tend to be practical people and all that. And then if that is so, we will come out with a solution, and then we'll be able to implement. And the second big meeting that we have, we will be quite sorted out.
More.
And we will start to present some of these concerns, probably if we meet before with David and this small group, to see what can be done in the next 10 days, let's say, in terms of changing the order, in terms of the topics of the working tables and things of that type.
Also, we can, it's like when we have the translation, then we should not split into groups too fast. We should, and it is possible if each and everyone who is taking care of its subject in the beginning, introduce what things they are focusing on in this subject. So people don't come into a subject and nobody know what is happening. We can organize this a little bit
beforehand. You mean?
Beforehand and then
sending an email, for example, and saying, well, you registered in this meeting, what is your interest in this particular topic? And then you will have a more refined category of interest, and will give ideas about how to conduct better that initial meeting.
Let's work on this. And with the team, see if we can have a meeting, and the more we can organize in the next
few days.
This is very good. But Tracy, what do you think?
It's okay.
I
like the ideas.
Great. So you may have to take on a particular group, because we cannot all concentrate in the same, because that would be a waste of coordinating energy. So you will be able to attend people who, for example, from Uganda, who cannot communicate easily in English, in order to explain to them within the group, or how we are going to do it.
I will check
the names of
Tanzanian people. Ugandan people are very good. They speak Swahili and English and Luganda. But the Tanzanian people, they don't know English, majority. Their country, when their first president came, Nyerere, he strictly did away with foreign languages. So they just introduced everything in Swahili. In their classes, in whatever they do, even in their schools, they just learn Swahili. They've just started introducing English when Magufuli was around. So that's when they started doing English. So the only country that will be a bit challenge is Tanzania, which I'll have to see how many people in Tanzania are doing this. So if the majority are in education, I'll go to education. If they go to health, I'll go to health. I'll just check out with them what is their main interest.
And you can have a copy of the list of people registered already, so you will see from what country, and there you will identify to whom you need to write. I will ask a copy of that to David in New York. Yesterday he sent a list, but it was only 30 names. In fact, before I register myself, so it don't appear there. That should be accessible at all times. I mean, if we can have it, because that will allow this work of preparation.
It is good. Yeah, okay. Let's focus on this. For me, I'm available with a short notice to work on this, but I want to. I have to leave, but I want to. In the end, I want to. Could we have maybe on something like, okay, about the meeting on next Thursday, the second. I think it would be maybe good if we focus on, of course, telling about this, introduce this forum on 25th. And also, if we can maybe ask like Dorothy to go over the plans he is making and ask maybe Delmon to explain a little bit about his plan. And we encouraging people to make a plan for the year, what they want to do. Because it is very nice that some people are coming up with this plan, and of course things will be much clearer if people make a plan and then we work on that. Anything else you want to talk about next meeting, organizing meeting?
I don't have any specifics, no. What do you say, Julius?
Next Thursday, we should have a kind of a coordinating preparation meeting as we're used to. Even would we do it in the morning, like 11?
Yeah, we can have a small meeting in the morning on the Thursday.
That's good, yeah, because then we are fresh and we try to have it not too long even, but we can have a more the latest interest in the actual meeting at 5 o'clock, next Thursday. Yeah. So 11 on Thursday we should meet, I think.
And that will be what date?
Thursday is 16. Yeah.
15th. Okay.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can have clarified some of these things that have been discussed here. But when do you think we can have the copy of this meeting, Julius, or to put the points to consult, for me to pass them to?
You mean when can we have a YouTube link to this meeting of ours now?
Yes, because we can review. We have touched quite a few things that have to do especially with the organization of
because I think this meeting is different from the first one, the catharsis one. Then this meeting has more or less been a practical thing, So this is valuable.
We want to make sure that really people will be able to get the most, that we will be well organized in the sessions, and the times is always the trick.
We can
at least a plan like of 45, 1 hour and something of the introduction, the explanation of this, explanation of that. Maybe all that can be shortened a bit and have more times for the discussions in the groups, in the theme areas, in the tables. So we'll see if that can be restructured a bit.
Okay, so if we get a link soon, I will talk now after this, very close this meeting, I will talk to Stefan, that takes care of reaching for the YouTube link, and then we should get the copy. And even we could make a point of looking at the video with a view of whether this video could be distributed widely. possibly, but we have to see if we have.
Yeah, not to step on the toes of these organized people who are constructing. Now we talk, they are building up things.
Yes, yes.
That's why I preferred if we have them in a meeting with us to see what are the concerns that the people who cannot understand Spanish have about the next assembly meeting.
Yeah, because the most important handicap of the Siloist worldwide movement is this notion that we can operate on 10% of mankind as for languages.
Exactly, and that is something that we are tackling, and I think is one of the most important things that we will achieve with this process of the forum, that people will realize that they are a small part of the whole Siloist or humanist world. So far, they continue thinking that they are sort of in the center, and they are not.
Yes.
Okay, Antonio, you will just let us know if there is a meeting, and if we will meet with them and clarify.
If we can organize it, even today could be possible. We'll see.
Yeah, we are available.
Excellent.
But,
I will confirm availabilities for them, and we'll try to come to a time, and I will propose for them.
Yeah.
If we say 5, for example, in the afternoon or something like that.
No,
today.
we have a introduction meeting today. We have a
at 5.
5 o'clock. We have the meeting.
That's a priority thing.
So what could be then the thresholds of times that we can have? 3, 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock is difficult for me because I'm picking my girl 4 o'clock. But maybe after the 5, 6, 7 o'clock, or tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, I'm available all day.
Yeah, or after 7.
Yeah, or after 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Julius?
Pardon?
What are you thinking about after 7 today?
After 7 today, Friday. Yes, I think so.
Or you prefer tomorrow then?
I would. Well, Saturday is a very difficult day, but Saturday, like late in the afternoon.
Or Saturday late afternoon. I'll consult.
It could be, it could be for 5 UK time or.
Yeah. Just to consult, probably they will say, no, we have other things to do, or blah, blah, blah. But
we will, you will just, we don't need to meet often or long time. So let's see what is the best time over the weekend.
Yeah, otherwise we may have to wait until Wednesday and to join, then have more people who will be the coordinators of tables and express all these things. Maybe 20 people that we are in all, but at least we can advance. Huh?
Yeah, we still have 2 weeks till the meeting, so it's no rush. I think it will be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we have it late tomorrow, Saturday, we also can possibly have this video for us if we want to study it.
To freshen things, yeah. Okay, let's say in principle then we aim at Wednesday, or otherwise we can talk about the greater concerns that need to be dealt with by the technical people. But if we listen to all this discussion, we'll have those points clear. No?
Okay, I have to go.
Okay.
Okay.
We are clear.
Okay.
Bye, Tracy. Thank you. Bye, Julius. Ragnar.
Bye.
See you.
See you.
Yeah, I will finish now. Minus recording. Stop recording.